Hey Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly forecast for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is a general reading. We're going to connect here and see what's happening in the weekly energies, see what's coming up for you the week ahead. And as always, after we look at your weekly cards, I'm going to pull a card for you from a different deck for a spirit message or affirmation or spirit homework. We'll see what comes up. There's your Monday, Tuesday, your Wednesday, Thursday, and your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's get to it, my darlings, and see what is going on. All right, Sagittarius. So you're starting off your week with Two of Swords. And that's funny to me because this was the card, and you all saw me shuffle, but this was the card that ended the week for Scorpio. So I don't know, maybe since it came up for them at the end of their week, there could be something that's happening for some of you in the beginning of the week where you're wanting to approach a Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, because you're kind of like at a crossroads with them, or you're not sure what you want to do or how you want to move ahead. This could be family, this could be business, this could be love life. Not necessarily. Not all of you are dealing with a Scorpio. I'm just saying that because this came for them at the end of the week. So it could be, like I said, maybe the beginning of the week, you're like going back and forth about something, and maybe by the end of the week, you're moving forward and you're approaching someone or you're confronting a Scorpio about something. But not necessarily, not for all of you. Two of Swords is a card that comes up when we feel like we're at a little bit of an impasse. The creator of this deck actually has the word crossroad written down there at the bottom, if you can see that. This is a cool deck if you're learning the tarot, if you have a hard time remembering. There's little keywords on the bottom, so that's one cool thing about this one particular deck. But so it's listed here as like crossroads. So you're just feeling not sure about how you want to move forward about a situation. And some of you are afraid to look at the situation in its entirety. Keep in mind, Sagittarius, we're just coming off of a partial lunar eclipse in Capricorn in the beginning of last week. And this was a card that helped a lot of people kind of wake up to what's going on in their life and how they feel about it, and an action plan about changing things. And so after that, like, jolting awakening, some of you in the beginning of this week could be in the Two of Swords energy because you're not sure how to move forward. You're seeing what needs to be changed. And I feel for a lot of you, Sagittarius, the reason why you're kind of not sure about how you want to move forward, it's not necessarily because you don't know what you want or you don't know how to go about it. I feel like a lot of you are afraid that you're going to let somebody down. I feel some of you have had such a massive awakening to where you might be preparing to walk away from an entire community. So for some of you, this could be a professional standpoint where you're getting to walk away from like your colleagues, or if you've had like long-term business associates or something you've been doing for a long time. And some people might be like, oh my goodness, you're walking away from your life's work. Or some of you are getting ready to leave a place where you've worked for a very long time. Or some of you are getting ready to do something really significant, and you're like preparing like to change religions or leave a religion or leave an organization that you had devoted a lot of your time and effort and energy to. And so it can be scary to make such a big change. Even if you feel like, hey, this is what I feel that it's time for me to do, you could have this fear over, how are other people going to feel? Are they going to take it personal? Are they going to have a hard time with it? So Sagittarius, I feel that some of you are in this Two of Swords energy, not because you're afraid because you don't believe in yourself. I feel you're more afraid about how other people are going to feel about it, in the sense that not even you're worried about them judging you. You're over that. You're over like caring what people are going to think about you. But you have this fear like, I don't want to let people down. I like, some of you might feel like you've been such an advocate for something that now that you're walking away from it, you know, are people going to feel like you're abandoning them? But you have to do what you're being guided to do, because I've said this in other readings, my darling. When I see the Two of Swords, I get a little nervous for me in my readings. Like if I pull it up for me, if I'm pulling cards for myself, because to me, that is a card that comes up when Spirit's trying to say, look, If you keep ignoring this, you're going to have a Tower moment. For me, Two of Swords comes before the Tower, energetically. It just kind of like how I read. So if I see that, I know Spirit's saying you have to stop ignoring this. Because right now you're not moving. We're asking you to move and you're not moving. So if you don't begin to take steps and taking the guidance that you're being guided to take, one way or another, this change is going to happen. Right? One way or another, you're coming off the diving board and you're jumping into the swimming pool. You can jump off the diving board yourself, as nervous as you may be, or you can dig in your heels and avoid it and procrastinate and not want to do it and have somebody come up from behind you and push you in, right? Being pushed in is going to be a lot less pleasant than jumping in. Both can be scary, but being pushed in often is a lot less pleasant. So something is happening where you're going to have to get over this fear and begin moving forward. Okay, so the beginning of the week could be a good time for you to do your affirmations, to do your prayers, to do your meditations, and just start gathering the courage needed, or asking your angels and guides to give you the courage you need to make this step. And you could even pray for the people you're worried about letting down or disappointing. You know, ask their guardian angels and guides to help them, to guide them, to direct them to, you know, the appropriate mentor or helper or comfort or whatever it is that they might need in that process. You know, but you can't keep living your life as a hostage to other people's emotions. Your Wednesday and Thursday card is Two of Wands. Now, this is interesting, okay, because like I said, every single tarot reader, I've said in previous readings, every single tarot reader has, you know, cards that kind of have a specific meaning for them. And this, sometimes Two of Wands, for me in a reading when it comes up, for me, it's like a contract or a choice, having to pick between two things. Now, the creator of this deck has it listed as a vision. So we're going to go based on what the creator of this deck has called it. She's called it vision. So, and this applies too. Vision is one of the meanings of Two of Wands, where it's like you're looking out at like the projection of your plans, how they're going to roll out, how they might go about being, you know, how you're going to come into this energy of creating or bringing your ideas into manifestation. Usually in a lot of the tarot decks, when we see Two of Wands, or when we see the classic Rider-Waite image, it's a guy and he's got the globe in his hand and he's got, you know, the two wands and he's holding on to one and he's like looking out over a balcony at like this kingdom, you know? So he's like looking at everything ahead of him, everything in front of him, he's taking it all in. So some of you are planning and plotting your kingdom. Some of you are planning and plotting your empire. You're going in a very different direction. You're going in a very different way of life. Two of Wands for me also is a card a lot of the times that comes up when there's some kind of a partnership, okay? It can sometimes indicate or signify a romantic relationship between two men. The Two of Wands can sometimes signify that, but like a lot of you know, these are general readings, and obviously not all of you are men, and even those of you who are men, not all of you who are men date men, so it's not going to apply in that way for every single one of you, obviously. And also, I don't focus a whole lot on love in these readings. I try to focus on other areas of life, but for some of you, that could be one of the ways in which this is applying. But for the majority of you, this is a decision, this is an agreement that you're coming into, like a vision that you're coming into agreement. Either you're making a new agreement with the universe about what your future is going to be like and what your life is going to be like from now on moving forward, or it's a physical agreement with a person. Like you're leaving one business for another business, or you're leaving one religion for another religion, or you're leaving one organization for another, one job for another, or leaving a job to start your own business, or whatever it might be. A lot of the times with Two of Wands, it can be a contract, an agreement, a partnership. All right. But I feel, for whatever reason, Sagittarius, I feel a lot of you are leaving something to pick up something new or something else. Okay. For a lot of you, it's been a long time coming, but maybe you just feel a little overwhelmed because even though it was a long time coming, it came in a very in a way for you that feels very abrupt, and you're like, I didn't think it was going to happen so soon, or I didn't think the transition was going to be that fast, but it's here. And a lot of you are making a transition and coming into a new agreement. Your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, oh yeah, Sagittarius, happy good times. Three of Cups. And so the creator of this deck has this as a reunion. And again, we are in Mercury retrograde, and Mercury retrograde surely has a habit of bringing the past back to our door. So some of you might be having longtime friends that you haven't talked to in a long time that are reappearing, or an old lover that's coming back, or an ex or somebody that's coming back, or a family member you haven't heard from a long time. Some of you might be going to like a high school class reunion or a family reunion or something of that nature. But overall, Three of Cups is about having a good time, being happy, having a reason to celebrate, getting out there. Okay, some of you are having some kind of a celebration because you're breaking free from something that was very oppressive, very oppressive for a long time. So I don't know, some of you maybe are like having a divorce party or something, or some of you are just kind of celebrating getting out of a difficult situation where like your friends are like, let's go celebrate, let's go and like, you know, celebrate your victory, your freedom at this time. And some of you are celebrating this new venture, this new agreement that you're stepping into, because there does seem to be some kind of a contract. I'm not sure why, Sagittarius, but I feel very strongly that for some of you, this celebration has to do with getting your own place. And it's like something that has been something you've been struggling with for a very long time. Like you've been wanting your own place, and there was periods of times where you couldn't get your own place because finances were difficult. And then there was times that money was better or money was good, but you felt like you couldn't leave because maybe there was family obligations, or there was people that you felt like they needed you, or if you left they weren't going to be able to pay their bills. And then you weren't like, well, hey, I don't want to go get my own place, and I don't want to be like, you know, I can't support you, you know, I can't support myself and them. So some of you maybe have felt stuck, but I do feel, Sagittarius, something is happening where there's an amicable like agreement. There's this amicable way of things working out to where you're finally able to go and have your spot, have your place. Like you can afford your place, and you are on good terms with whoever might be getting left behind, and you're creating a life for yourself, and you're celebrating that independence or that freedom, some of you. We're going to go ahead and look at your angel message or spirit message from our other ocean deck. And as always, my darlings, for those of you who are really into card decks, as am I, the deck info will be in the description of the video. So let's go ahead and see what's going on, what your angel message or spirit message is for the week. Okay. And you have 9, the Mermaid's Purse. You attract good fortune and bring justice to those who may destroy you. Well, wow. That's interesting. Look at this. Let's read this again. You attract good fortune and bring justice to those who may destroy you. Wow, Sagittarius. Don't mess with Sagittarius this week. My goodness. Well, Sagittarius, right? We did talk about how you are moving on and coming into a new allegiance or new agreements in some way, right? And some of you have had this fear about how other people might be hurt or how they might be disappointed. Okay, well, I think some of you are also afraid of, like, if somebody insults you, or if somebody steps up to you or calls you out in a negative way. Some of you maybe are like, you're wanting to hold back, or you're wanting to be cautious because you're like, man, I don't want to have to let this person have it. I don't want to have to lose it on them. I don't want to have to tell them off. But you have everything you need for this new beginning, okay? Like that mermaid's purse, you know, she's got her little bag of magic there, her abundance there. And you're going to continue to attract good fortune. And you're going to continue to attract, you know, opportunities, and for the road to open up for you as you go on this new journey or on this new path. What you need to understand and know, Sagittarius, is some of you are walking away from a person or situation where there has been injustice. And I feel that simply by you going and living your life, like I'm hearing that old cliche, the best revenge is a life well lived. Like you're going to go and live your life, and you're going to have these really great things happening for you, and that's going to be your revenge. Okay? Some of you are walking away from a situation or a relationship because there was unfairness or there was injustice or someone was taking advantage. But what you're going to see happening is that what ends up coming into your life as a result of you making this change now or going in a different direction, you're going to be blessed with so much more abundance and so many more opportunities than you would have had if this other organization or relationship or business had given you what you deserved when you were there at that time. But they did you dirty, they did you wrong. Now you're going another direction, but it's going to be a massive blessing because you're going to have a lot more coming your way. Okay? I know I personally have had many experiences like that in my life where people had like tried to push me out of jobs and situations, and when I was like in the corporate world and things like that, but it all ended up being a blessing, right? Because it led me to the path to get to do what I love doing, and it led me to the path to get to be on YouTube and connect with all of you and share these messages with you. There was a lot of doors that closed, before I came to the path of having the courage to reach out and to help other people. So something similar is happening for a lot of you Sagittarius in this way. And I'd like to draw your attention to the number 9. The 9 is a spirit number. So a lot of you are having a very powerful spiritual ascension, Sagittarius, in this week. And this 9 is a master number. It's the number of the ascended masters, of the spiritual teachers, of spiritual awakening. So whatever is happening, you're going on some really massive life path, life purpose stuff. And I'm excited for you. Some of you are like, yeah, that's all great, Amethyst, but what about my love life? I do the love life separately on this channel, the love readings, and I'm going to be doing August very soon. But if you haven't already checked out the July love reading for Sagittarius or the cross-watcher videos, the links for those are in the description. By all means, check those out. I try to keep the weekly forecasts about you and your life, your stuff, not worrying about the drama of relationship, just you and your path. But the love life I do separate, so you can definitely check that out. You may need a private reading. More than happy to do that. If you click on the Calendly link, you can schedule with me a phone reading, audio recording reading, a video recorded reading, whatever you want to do. All the options are there on Calendly. And in between the weekly videos, guys, don't forget, there's a card of the day. There's a daily pick a card that I do on my Amethyst Angellight Facebook and Instagram. So I appreciate your support there as well. Thank you so very much, guys, for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. I'm wishing you a fabulous week.